Brunswick, boneless butterflied sardine fillets in olive oil. This should be really good. The package looks really nice because I love the fish art on there. It's really nice and clean, but what I don't like is that it's a plastic wrapper. It kind of downgrades the quality to me. I like things that are either printed on the can so you know that that came from the place the can says, or at least in a nice package box. If the can itself is printed, they can't really fool you by putting some generic can from another place into the package, like they can do here. But a box to me is a little bit better than this cheap type of plastic wrapper. I understand. Environmental stuff, maybe we use up too much wood, and this plastic would be a cheaper, more environmentally friendly, although I don't think so because plastic is getting a bad rap. Haha, pun intended. Anyways, I like the art. The color pattern kind of says something to me. They give you a lot of information on the back here. Oh, okay. It's written in Canadian. Product of Canada. That explains it. Good thing. I was born and raised in Michigan. We are America's last defense before the Canadian border. So we know about Canadian life and Canadian culture and the Canadian language. So thankfully, I can interpret what it says here. Okay. Easy opening pull ring. We'll see that when we get it open. Nutrition information on the back is 3.75 ounces, which is kind of standard. And it gives you all the typical nutrition information. But the added stuff is, and the surprise is, ingredients. Herring. Says sardines on the can. But you know what I've said before. Sardines has become like pickles. Pickles are pickled cucumbers. Pickles aren't pickles, they're cucumbers. But they're pickled. So we've come to know them as pickles. Same thing now with sardines. This doesn't contain sardines, but since sardines come in these little cans, we're now starting to accept just about anything in the can as a sardine, even though it's herring. To those of us, you and me, who are kind of assures when it comes to this stuff, we know the difference. Well, let's continue. Also contains olive oil, obviously. Distributed by Bumblebee Seafoods. Yes, that's the food conglomerate. Product of Canada. Interested in where these sardines came from? You can go to tracemycatch.com. Tracemycatch.com. And you can look up some really cool facts on there. Or you can go to BrunswickSardinesUS.com. All right, it says a little bit more here. Sardines are for flavor seekers and curious. Let me read it again. Sardines are for flavor seekers and curious palates. Wild caught and ready to eat in indulgent olive oil. They're a mini but mighty superfood, providing an excellent source of complete protein. I like the poetic style they got on there. And they've got a number you can call if you got questions. So, I think we beat that one to death. Let's see how easy open this plastic is. It's just kind of heat sealed, mushed all together and melted. They could do a little better job on that. I'm trying to open this in a way that I don't just ruin it because I'd like to use this at the end for my send-off. But it's almost a adult-proof. Oh, there we go. Da-da-da-da. Just your typical aluminum tin. It's got a little bit more of a hollow sound to it, so there must be some air in there. If you have no air, they last for just about ever. If there is any air in there, then the potential over time it could decompose. These, by the way, are like the perfect food in so many ways. And the perfect packaging. I mean, you can put this in your shirt pocket there, and you can go to work all day with it, as long as you don't go and jab yourself with a sharp object or something. It won't ooze around or smell. You can take these hiking, camping. The things last forever. And they're very versatile. All right, put the goggles back on. Safety goggles in case something shoots out of the can at me. Ooh, a big click. That's exciting. And it puffs out. Ooh. Add a little extra aroma in the house there. All righty. Whoa. Now. Wow. Doesn't that look good? Lovely fillets, artistically, precisely sliced and laid in the can. Now that's impressive. The olive oil, though, looks a bit milky. I don't know if you can see that. There. Little bit milky olive oil, but I think because herrings seem to be a lot juicier than sardines, probably, certainly is the fluid from the fish. Yeah, because you can smell it. It's not bad odor. It's just not sardine odor. All right. See if we can lift them carefully so they don't break. Wow. They're pretty delicate. Let's go the long way here. Take the long way home. All right. That's a big chunk. Very clean. Very appetizing. Aesthetically pleasing. Definitely some bonus parts there. All right, so the cleaning operation doesn't work completely. Well, I'm going to take a chow of that while I got it on the cracker. Definitely mushy compared to sardine. Mushy and spongy, just like I would expect a herring to be. Ooh, but a good burst of flavor on the end. Initially, you just experience the chewing of a little bit mushy fish. Let's put it this way. It actually tastes like cooked fish. It has the texture of a cooked fish. Canned fish quite often are more firm, rubbery, because of the canning process. Fish that are cooked in the oven or in other methods, deep fried or whatever, they don't have that mushiness. So I will attribute this to the characteristics of a herring. And it's just not what I would expect for a can if this were just plain sardines. But even though they didn't warn us, they did put it on the fine print that these are herring. So you can look and see now. See that? There's no scales, but the skin remains. Not a big deal. I'm just being really technical here. They probably tumbled these and removed most of the skin, but there's just a little remnant of that still remaining. Well, let me try another one. Skinless side up. I gotta say this. Okay, I've eaten the canned trout and the canned smoked trout and the canned smoked salmon before from another brand. This blows that away. There is so much more flavor in these little fillets of fish here than in that very expensive type of fish. I don't know what I paid for these. I know I paid north of $5 a can for the smoked salmon. I'm quite sure these are way south of that. I'm going to get a couple of these out, see if we can investigate further. Okay, so now this one. That one seems to have skin on both sides. Can't imagine that's two fillets back to back and they're that thin. And I can notice there are also the hair bones in these things. You'll never notice it. You'll never taste them. They'll never get stuck in your craw. They are literally the diameter of a human hair. You can barely see them. So it's only an observation. Don't let that deter you from trying these. But these things are outstanding. I'm going to halt right there and allow the crew to have a few tastes of this as well. So on the label, they call these Butterflied. Now, Butterflied typically means you cut it open and you open it like a book. Just like a butterfly is preserved and put on the wall in one of those little display cases with their wings opened up. I don't see where these are butterflied. Maybe they are, and then they're folded back together because they all come off as like single fillets. Again, just being kind of nitpicky and pointing stuff out here. Not a deterrent. These things are really awesome. They are outstanding, very flavorful. They are aesthetically pleasing. They look really nice in the can. They look okay on the cracker. I'm sure they'll look good on anything that you use them with. And I'm sure that they are just wonderful eating them plain. In fact, I will just prove that to you. Wow. Okay, that is the meat version of fudge. Wow, that is really good. In fact, it's even the consistency of fudge as well. Again, well worth the money. So I hope you can find yourself a supply of these to buy. They should be in just about any store across the country because they're a well-known brand. Brunswick Boneless Butterflied Sardine Fillets in olive oil. I'll give you a thumbs up and probably even put these on my top 10 list if I actually had one. Until next time, thanks for watching.